It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Here we go.
Live.
From the Queen City studio.
With the Deacon live.
Right now. Ready? Yes.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, I think I'm dying, maybe? How many times have I said that? News articles that were forced down our throats in the last week or two. Also, my Turkey Day recap, good or bad. Stick around for that because it gets very interesting. And also, bye-bye kitty meme and say hello to, I'm going to tell my kids, and the 10-year challenge is back on Facebook. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Deacon Live. My name is the Deacon. Give us a call anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time at the Queen City studio located in Marshville, a beautiful little town just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. And make sure you follow us on all our social networks and all that stuff. Deacon Live, all one word. How are you? How's everything going? You made it through the... Oh, you know what? I gotta change the screen here. Give me one sec. There we go. Been so long. I've got a new setup, and there's already a bug in here bothering me. Already bothering me. All right, so here we go. So how are you? You guys not a good way to start the show. He's gonna fly around, and I'm gonna get him. I told you I was gonna nuke this place. And it's not a. Watch some light bulb break. Where'd he go? I saw him go down. Anyways, did you make it through Thanksgiving? Did you make it through Turkey Day? Did you get enough stuffing? Did you get enough turkey? Did you get enough of the accoutrements on the side? The mashed potatoes, the the gravy. I'll talk about that here in a second. And all the all right, hold on. I'm gonna get this guy before. I'm gonna get him. Is he done? Nope. Better land somewhere. Well, that took a lot out of me. So, like I said, we survived Thanksgiving. Well, at least, hold on, I'm getting ahead of the card here. My family, my wife's family, which I guess in pituitary is my family as well. And so her nieces came up, and I forgot that the older niece got married last couple months ago. And brought her husband. I totally forgot. I was saying that I was going to be in a house full of women, but fortunately or unfortunately, or however you can distinguish what happened based on the stories I tell. He was here. He came up. He's I think she's 20, early 20s, and he's about the same age as her. So there's a little gap in between as far as interests and stuff. But he showed up, so we had a house full of women plus me and him, and everything went well. We didn't burn the turkey. Turkey came out great. All the desserts came out great. They showed up on Wednesday night about 1 o'clock in the morning. Actually, Thursday morning, Wednesday night, 1 o'clock in the morning. They drove up from Florida all the way to Marshville. Hung out, and we had breakfast in the morning. And then we just started doing our normal, cooking routines. Getting the turkey ready and getting the mashed potatoes ready and all that stuff. So, everything went great. One thing and the reason why I brought up her husband, he's from New Zealand. And this is he's been in the United States on and off with a work visa and stuff. He went through the Walt Disney World Academy, university actually. And during that process, he was trying to get a job full-time, permanently here in the United States. He had a work visa. So he came to the country legally, like you're supposed to. And then every 2 years, he had to re-up his visa. Well, in his last 2 years that he was here, he actually fell in love with my wife's oldest niece, and they got married. So now, I guess in Barrow, he's now a legal U.S. citizen. But it's kind of funny because I was like, so his name's Damien. I go, Damien, is this your first Thanksgiving? He goes, no, I had one last year. And I said, outside of that, have you had Thanksgiving before? And he goes, no, this is the first time. Of course, he's got a New Zealand accent, which is weird. His is cross between a New Jersey accent and an English accent, and I'm not even going to attempt to try that accent. But hello, mate. Yeah, go fuck yourself in the wankers and the pissin' pot. I don't know. That's horrible. But I asked him. I said, "Now, we're sitting at the main island in the kitchen, and everyone's around, and I'm holding court right there in the kitchen. By the way, the whole family hates me. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like going, "Oh, Damien, so this is your second Thanksgiving?" He's like, "Yep." I go, "What did you think of the first one?" He goes, "It was nice." I go, "Do you know why we celebrate Thanksgiving?" And he kind of looked at me and said, "No." And I kind of looked around the table. I go, I took a beat or two, and I go, "Does anyone else here at the table?" Now, I'm sorry, the island in the center of the kitchen, as we're cooking food. Does anyone else here know why we celebrate Thanksgiving? And my wife's like going, "Oh, because we give thanks for everything we have, and blah, blah, blah." I go, "No, where it actually started." So here I have a niece, the youngest niece, I think, is a junior in high school. The middle niece is a freshman at Florida State. And then the oldest niece is in law school. And none of them looked at me. They had blank stares on their face. Like, I asked them what 2 + 3 in the square root of 9 was. And they all looked at me like, I don't know. I don't know, Deacon. What is the actual origin of Thanksgiving? Now, my wife, knowing me, being a character, she's like, you can only believe about 80% of what he says, and you have to figure out the 20% that's the actual lies. So she's already setting them up. So I said, well, when the Pilgrims left, the England and sailed over here, and I gave them the whole story about how they landed on Plymouth Rock, and they didn't have any food, they didn't know how to eat, they burned up all their rations on the boat trip over here, and they met the Indians, the locals, the natives, and the natives showed them how to live off the land and showed them how to hunt the turkeys and the crops to plant and all this stuff, and they all came together and have a one big feast celebrating the two communities together. And then of course we pushed them all the way to the desert and took most of their land. So I said that, and they all just kind of looked at me like, really? I'm like going, yes, really, that's what happened. That's what the first Thanksgiving was. And none of them believe me. None of them believe me. I'm like, even the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving thing taught you the history of Thanksgiving. And also, what's the Addams Family, when Wednesday was doing the play, the first Addams Family, the one with oh God, what's his name? The live action one, the classic one that everyone knows, that was really well done. And where Wednesday goes, well, we changed our mind. We're going to scalp and kill you people off. And everyone was running around and, my God, are they made from real Girl Scouts? So if you've watched movies in time, they've taught you the actual story of Thanksgiving. Nobody at the table knew it. No one understood what I was saying. Had no idea about Plymouth Rock. Had no idea about. They've heard about Pilgrims, but they just assumed that the Pilgrims came through Florida with Ponce de Leon. So I was like, really? This is what? And we're sitting down. So once I told Damien the story, and everyone kind of grumbled and said called BS on it. I said, now Damien, how do you feel about that? I go, so this is a weird thing for you to do? He goes, yeah, it's absolutely bizarre why you would keep doing this to celebrate the taking over of land. True or not true? And I go, well, that's essentially what we're doing. And then we got into the discussion of Christopher Columbus, and oh my God, boy, did I rile him up. I should not be allowed in social family events, especially family people you don't see all the time, because my wife, she's numb to it. Day in, day out, I'm always ribbing her about something or making up some kind of story, or I'm always following the news and reading stuff, and I'm giving her bits and facts and stuff all day long. And this just makes up the knowledge of the human being that I am. Now, sometimes I'm a smartass, and sometimes that fights against me sometimes. And I'll get into that here in just a few minutes. Yeah, see this right here that I have got going on, this speech impediment that's got going on. I thought I was dying. I thought I was dying because I watched this stupid friggin' news story. Not news story. I was watching an interview with this guy on the Kelly Clarkson show. Oh God. Boy, did I open up a can of worms on that one. The Kelly Clarkson show, which in itself, someone needs to redo her wardrobe. She looks like Little House on the Prairie every day. If you haven't watched the Kelly Clarkson show, Google search a couple screenshots of her, what she wears. She looks like Little House on the Prairie with the big puffy arms and the big flower colored printed outfits. Anyway, so she interviewed this guy, and when we come back, I'll dive into that and why, like the first 36 to 48 hours of Thanksgiving was total hell for me. You're listening to Deacon Live. Stick around. I'll be right back. There he is. Oh, I'm smacking cameras. You're dead. I'm turning the camera on so you can see it. Oh, there he is right there. He's dead. Got him. Glad I had that camera on. I'll get off my paper. Welcome back to Deacon Live. My name is the Deacon. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, you saw me actually take out the fly, and I had the evidence. I showed the body on the camera here. I finally got the fly. I hit him with the back of my notepad here. So the fly is dead. Fly is gone. And make sure you subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. Just search for Deacon Live. Hit the subscribe button, and you can see all the stuff that me swinging around a friggin' clipboard of paper trying to knock this thing. Almost knocked half the cameras off the stands here. So give us a call here at the station anytime, 407-448-8800. You're listening to Deacon Live right outside of Charlotte in the beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We broadcast live out of the Queen City studio. Now, people ask me why do I call it Deacon Live, broadcast live, because everything that you see on the video and stuff, it's done. It's not scripted. None of this is scripted. I've got a list of topics here. Everything that I'm saying, everything that I'm doing, it's live. I just cut down for time purposes. Like the half hour, I was sitting here flinging around the fly, trying to hit the fly. That'll be cut out of the audio, just to compact it down so it'll save on your data plans or data plans, depending on what side of the country you're from. And one guy who was not from our country is my new. Now, is there a name for him? The one who married my niece-in-law? Would he be my nephew-in-law? I don't think there's a name for that. He's married to my wife's niece. How about that? So he's from New Zealand, and I gave him the lowdown on what Thanksgiving was. Now, one thing, we were sitting there, and I'll get into why I'm dying here in a minute. We were sitting one of the times when we got done with dinner and stuff. I said, well, okay, you know what? It's time to relax. Dinner got done about 4 o'clock, 4:30. And, hey, Damien, you want to go sit out by the big fire pit? We got a big, huge 10-foot round fire pit here on the French. I chopped down probably about 3 or 4 trees. And when I say trees, I'm talking logs. And threw them on the fire, and they got a big blaze going. And just kind of sat out there and was drinking a beer. He does the Corona with no lime. Okay, that's fine. And I just do my regular Miller Lite, and we're just sitting there. And I didn't want to force conversation because don't really know the guy a whole lot. I met him once when we went down to Florida for something. And then I think I've met him twice, and this is my 3rd time. And the span of meeting him was probably 40 minutes, both times. So now I've got him sitting in my backyard, and we're sitting on the bench around the fire pit, and we're just sitting there. He's just chilling, I'm just chilling, and I'm like, what's the saying from Pulp Fiction? Why do humans feel necessarily just to talk about nothing or bullshit about nothing just to break the silence? Shit, I just sat there and watched the fire. Want another beer? Walk back up to the house, grab a beer, come back down. That was it. But it was just weird. I mean, he really didn't have like questions or anything, or didn't even engage in conversation, which I don't know. Maybe he was shy. Maybe he was nervous. I literally turned to him and I said to him, "Hey, man, you don't have to hang out with me if you want to go back inside with the rest of the family because you know them a lot better than me." And he goes, "No, I'll just sit here with you." Okay, cool. Those bricks around the fireplace there, is that from the thing you were telling me about with the mobile home that was destroyed on the property? Yep. You just kind of threw them around the pit like that. Yeah, you going to pick on my craftsmanship on my fire pit? No. Just want to know where these bricks came from. All right. Anybody coming down? Anybody coming down here to help me survive? Help me! I'm dying. I'm dying over here. Now, when I say I'm dying, metaphorically with him, the conversation was dying. But so I'm sitting there in the kitchen like the day before everyone comes up. So this must have been Tuesday afternoon, or actually Tuesday morning. And I have breakfast, and I see my wife, or make breakfast for my wife, and I see my wife off. She goes on to work. She works in Charlotte. And then I start my daily chores and taking care of the property and getting the house ready for guests and everything. So I keep on the morning news, and then the morning news goes into the Rachel Ray show here in Charlotte, and then it goes into the Kelly Clarkson show. About then, I'm wrapping up my shit, but I like to see who her guests are because sometimes they're weird, sometimes they're not. So I don't know if you guys have seen, is it a television? See, I don't even know about it. Is it a television show called This Is Us? And I guess it's really, really very dramatic. It's very well done from my understanding. It's getting accolades. Accolades? It's getting praises left and right. And I guess the show is dealing with a lot of different situations. I guess there's a transgender on there. I'm just speaking about, here we go. I'm just speaking about things that I just heard from news articles and stuff. And there's, different people of different values and whatnot. And there's one gentleman who he plays a stroke victim. And hold on, I gotta switch screens here for you. So the gentleman's name is Timothy Odmanson, and he actually is on the Kelly Clarkson show. And this just happened a couple days ago. This was on November 14th that he was on the show. So he gives his story about what happened to him on the show. Now, I've never seen the show before, but I guess the character, well, I'll let him explain. Here we go.
I think that's so inspiring, your whole story, and I know it and everybody else doesn't. So talk everybody through it. Let's talk about your stroke, like when that happened.
So I'm legally obligated to explain. I'm not a doctor, I've just played one on TV. But my specific stroke happened, it's very glamorous. I was at a film festival in Florida at a premiere of a movie I had just done. And after winning Best Supporting Actor, thanks, humble brag, 12 hours later I was in the men's room at the Tampa airport. And one day, and I just suddenly, next thing I know, I was on the floor.
Like out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere. I had a bottle of water, I was trying to screw the cap back on. And suddenly my left hand wasn't working. So I was like, it's weird. It just comes like, that's not. And then my left leg went out from under me.
That is crazy. Like out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. I'd had a really bad headache the night before, which I've now learned that if you ever had the worst headache of your life, you go to the emergency room.
But no one would know.
Okay, so that's the part that scared me, because all that week, I don't know if it was stress or too much work or whatever the case may be, I had a huge headache from Sunday morning all up into all the way up till Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. And I was talking and I couldn't form sentences right. When I say I couldn't form sentences right, it felt like anxiety. It felt like, you get a little nervous and you get shortness of breath. Now my arms were working just fine. I could move my hands, I could move all my stuff, but I had this headache and it would come and go. And then, I'd have like take a couple Advil. It would go away for a little bit and then come back. But it was this constant anxiety that I was having. So
that because people get migraines all the time.
So you never know. But
yeah.
Somehow these gentlemen in the men's room decided I wasn't either drunk or on drugs, and either dragged or thank you guys, whoever you are, and either carried me or dragged me out of the bathroom, put me in the waiting area on a bench kind of like this with no arm here. So I kept sliding out this because I was about to get on a plane to fly back to LA. But I knew my flight was over there, so I kept trying to get up and walk that way, and my leg just kept going up.
Wow.
So I probably fell about 12 times
That's incredibly scary. Like,
pretty
just to
freaky.
not know what's happening. That would scare me to death. I don't know how you did that. But the most amazing part was actually, there ended up being a role in This Is Us that they based off of your real life experience, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dan Fogelman, who's the creator of that show, also created another TV show called Gallivant. And he'd been keeping tabs on me in my recovery process. And texted me one day and it's like, I think I got something for you.
So he wrote the character that you see, Timothy Omundson, Omundson, based on his stroke character, and worked that into the actual show. So when you see him and he's walking with he really did have a stroke. And like I said, what freaked me out is that headache. He said, if you ever have a headache, it's the worst headache of your life. Make sure you go to the hospital right away. And here I am thinking, oh God. So, hold on. Here come the phone calls. Hey, you're live on the air. Hello? Hi, Olivia. Doing well. You're live on the air. Uh-huh. I'm listening. Go. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, my God. I need health care. I've got a migraine. I think I'm having a stroke. Gotta wait for the computer to catch up. Nope, there we go. How did she know? I mean, here I am talking about healthcare, and all of a sudden I get a phone call for healthcare, having health issues, and now I get a phone call about healthcare. Well, that's kind of odd, kind of weird. Anyways, you can call us too at 407-448-8800, and if you don't want to go on the phone with us, that's fine. Or if you're hearing this at a later date, go to ProphetRadio.com, and at the bottom of the page says Be Heard. Click on that, opens up a microphone. You send a voice message straight here to the station. I play them on the old podcast here. On the next one, the exact same one, or talk about what you want to talk about, and then I'll play it on the next podcast and address those issues there. That's how you do it. So anyways, I've had these headaches. I mean, frontal lobe headaches, not like all over the head or back of the head. Frontal lobe headaches where I just sit there and kind of press in between my eyes. And here I am thinking, my hands get a little bit of cold. You know how your hands get cold and they don't want to move. So I'm thinking, oh God, my hand's not working. So I have to sit there and flap my hands a little bit. My wife on Thanksgiving Day actually said, why don't you sit down? Why don't you stop moving around? And in my mind, I didn't want to tell her because I didn't want everyone to worry that I've had this headache and I'm getting ready to have either a heart attack or some other incident. I'm like, no, I just, I want to keep busy, want to keep everything moving and stuff. So I just kind of stayed away from the family while they sat around after I did my Thanksgiving speech, sat around the table there, and I just kept moving around, kind of going in there and bouncing around. She's like, will you just sit still? I'm like, I'll just go outside for a little bit and come back in and go outside. But yeah, and so for 2 days straight, I literally was like, it was hard for me to talk to people because I couldn't form sentences because I had that anxiety. Now, I don't know if it's because I work from home. I have really no human contact outside of like the mail lady would come over and I'll shoot the shit with her. UPS guy drops off stuff. We're always buying shit from Amazon because we live out in the friggin' boonies. Talk to the neighbors once or twice. The little kids come over from next door. Hey, hi, Mr. Deacon. Hey, what's going on? Nothing. We got another egg from our ducks. Okay, that's great. I mean, but the kids are like 9, 10 years old. I can't carry on a conversation. We're not on that level. They're much smarter than I am. Well, and maybe they knew where the origin of Thanksgiving came from. So anyways, I thought I was dying. So here I am for 3 days straight. Finally, it tapered off after like half of the family left and stuff. And I'll get into some of the issues that I had. And oh my God, it's a generational thing. And I don't know what happened or when it happened, but something maybe it caused some of my headache. And I'll get into actually what I believe started causing my headache when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to Deacon Live. My name is the Deacon. Make sure you follow us on all our social network pages and become a member. Join the members only section. And what gets you there is some of these phone calls that I take, as you heard there on the last break or in the last segment. I'll get random phone calls from, for whatever reason, I have a Florida. I know I have a Florida number because I'm from Florida, so I kept the phone number. So they think I'm Spanish, so I get all these Spanish phone calls, which is really funny. But blah, blah, blah. And when you join the members only section, you can actually hear full length of me talking to these people and trying to keep them on the line, and from car insurance to health costs to student loans and all the stuff. And it's funny. It's funny. It's a great time. And there's small joiners fee on that. Plus, there's much more that we do behind the scenes here. And you show support of the show. Just become part of the members only section. You go to ProphetRadio.com, click on members only. All right, so we I didn't die. Okay, as you can tell, I didn't die. I had horrible time talking to people though, like full on conversations. Like people would ask me a couple things, and I would sit there and stutter, shortness of breath, headache, and all that stuff. So here's one thing to kind of throw what might have throw some stuff on the fire. So I'm sitting there, hanging back, listening to the all the girls talk, and they're like I said, from mid-20s to I think 16. And then the mothers, I say the mothers, my wife, who's in her early 30s, and her sister-in-law, which is I think maybe mid-40s. I think mid-40s, if not early 40s. So they're all standing around, they're all talking and doing this stuff. And it's fun to listen to the young person's ideas, their mentality. And from just sitting in the back and listening to them, trying not to die, one of them says, we don't do plastic forks. We don't do plastic straws. We don't do plastic anything. Everything is either paper, recyclable, or reusable, metal forks, plates, all that stuff. So they got into a big conversation, like they don't go, and Damien, the new member of the family, he's like, I can't have anything. I can't have a plastic fork when I go to the drive-thru. I'm not allowed to have anything plastic. I have to bring my own fork. I have to bring my own straw. I have to, that type, what you're hearing in the news, this big plastic rush about people not using plastic, and all the plastic in the ocean, and the turtle with the straw in its nose, and all the things that happen, and oh my God, everyone's in outrage, and blah, 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 and, shut down the earth, and everyone stopped making plastic, and all that stuff. So, as I'm sitting here listening to this conversation, and I'm listening from their angle, I'm just trying to, because you always hear the stuff on TV. You never really get face-to-face, well, at least I don't, face-to-face to the actual face of the problem, or the people that think that is a problem. And you're sitting there just listening to them, because now you can say something and get a reaction in real time. As so someone will post something on Facebook, and then you might not see it in your newsfeed for like 6 hours, maybe the next day. And then you comment on it, and that thought, that fleeing thought has already gone and the weight of your comment really doesn't have any value. So I'm sitting there listening, I'm listening, trying not to die. And, blah, 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 and this and that. Now, that side of the family, my side of the family has always been a water, sweet tea, non-sweet tea drinker, beer, not necessarily liquor or anything like that. Usually beer, water, the basics, water, tea, beer, and unsweet tea. That side of the family, her side of the family, is bubbly, spritzers, seltzer water, Diet Coke, regular Mountain Dew, soda. All right. See where I'm going with this. So, as they're drinking their sodas and their soda pops and their carbonated beverages, they would drink a soda or something in a can. Everything was in cans, and they'd leave it on the counter. And then they go off and and they come back to it and they drink it and they sit on the counter, and then they have the argument of whose is whose, and I can't remember what's mine, what did you have? And it's all sitting on our little island table. And I say little island table, it's probably about 10 feet long, about 4 foot wide. It's a good sized surface, so there's a lot of room for pots and pans and dishes and lots of soda cans. So I come back in there one time into the kitchen as they kind of migrate from the kitchen into the living room, which is adjacent, so they can keep an eye on the kitchen and then come back in to the kitchen and sit on the stools again. So as they migrate between the two, I kind of walk around the kitchen, and if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, just kind of go pick up a can. Oh, hold on. Pick up a can. Yep, still soda left in that. Pick up another one. Still soda left in that. Pick up another one. Clink, clink, clink. Oh, this one's empty. And I always go kind of like, hey, you guys done with this one? Okay, I'll throw it away. Throw it in the recycle bin. Now, these are the same group of people, normally the nieces, are complaining about plastic and wasting, not using plastic to save the planet and stuff. I could have counted between the 4 people in there drinking sodas, I must have had close to 13 cans, half empty or half full, depending on what side of the fence you lean on, soda cans on the counter. And then I'm like, really? Really? Are we doing this? My headache's getting worse. My eyebrows are twitching. My vision's blurring. My left arm's going numb. I'm like, this is it. This is what's going to kill me. These soda cans left on the counter, just willy-nilly, half drunk, half empty, half full, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they're talking about, I don't want to put straws in my to-go bag for my double bacon Whopper cheeseburger. It's kind of like it was defeat. It was driving me insane. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do both of these. And then I caught one of them taking the can and throwing it right in the garbage. I'm like, whoa, wait, what are you doing? Oh, you guys recycle here? Headache, 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 numbness, numbness, numbness. Yes, we recycle here. That's what that big can over there, or that big bin is for. You see all the cans over there? Yeah, it's all aluminum. You don't see any in the garbage. Remember I told you we don't have trash pickup here? Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Throw it over there. I'm sitting there trying not to bust a blood vessel in my head. So that was them. And what topped off the whole entire, well, it gets a little bit more graphic. So we finally sit down to eat. What can I get you guys to drink? And they all like, oh, I want a Diet Coke. I want Diet. Because I'm playing host. I'm being nice. I'm being very, very nice. I couldn't talk. So I had to be nice. Oh, I got a Diet Coke. So I'd look out on the counter and find out like a half full Diet Coke. All right, this one's yours. Set it on the counter, or set it in front of them on the table. What'd you have? Oh, I had a black cherry seltzer water. Walk on the counter and find like one that's half full and another one that's kind of full, and I kind of pour them together. It's in another room, totally another room. And I walk into the dining room. There you go. There's your, oh, thank you. Oh, it's already open. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's kind of flat. Well, don't leave it on the kitchen counter. So another thing that made my friggin' headache throb behind my earlobes is I had to say grace. Now, I know it's kind of an oxymoron. My name is a deacon. Deacon is just a name that was given me at a strip club at one time because I was DJing in a strip club, and it's a play on words with the holy rollers and God and his sisters of mercy and all that. It was just, so that's my name. It's always stuck with me, the Deacon. Kind of like a horror movie type thing, like The Nun, the movie The Nun. And so my wife, I'm sitting at the head of the table, and that's another thing. I was stressing like 2 days into Thanksgiving. I'm like, well, since Teacher Man unfortunately has left us, he's in our prayers and stuff. He was the oldest, he was the eldest. He would say grace, and I was like, don't have to do that. Don't have to say grace, because as long as he's here. He passed away very lovingly. We loved him to death. And so my wife kind of looked at me and goes, okay, babe, it's time for you to say grace. I kind of went, yeah, no, I'm not going to say grace. And they're like, no, you need to say grace. She kind of looks at me and kind of holds my hand, kind of squeezes a little bit. Not the hand that's going numb because I'm, having a stroke. My other hand, and she's like going, no, babe, say grace. I said, well, from what I remember, If you've ever given like a speech in school and you just kind of say whatever and then you black out and, oh my God, that was a good speech. You're like, really? What did I say? I don't remember what I said. From what I remember that I said, the first words out of my mouth was, I'm not a religious man. And everyone, I could hear the from the table. And I said, essentially, we give thanks for everything that we have and everything that we become and everything that's coming in the future. We bless those that have gone and left us, that for those that are not myth, and heareth forth shall never be forgotten ever againeth. Amen. Amen. Everyone dig in. So everyone's on that. Thank you. That was very nice. All right. Very nice. I said grace, and my headache my vision came back after grace, and I'm like, oh, where am I? Who put this turkey in front of me? When we come back after dinner, it gets even better. I'm telling you, I'm not allowed out in social situations, family situations, and I'll give you a little background of why, and see if you agree with me on this. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook. All our social contacts are on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. And the way you do that is search for Deacon Live, all one word. And you can follow us and do all that stuff. Also, we have a YouTube channel. This video, all videos that we have, or all shows that you hear on your favorite podcatchers, whether it be iHeart, Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. There's a matching video for each one. Make sure you go to YouTube. Subscribe to that, watch the video, all the stuff that we do here behind the microphone. It's called Under the Tent is the main thing that goes on here, under the tent, because we have a big tent. We sit under a big tent. Well, the roof is painted like a big tent, big circus tent. So, now, I was telling you that I should not be allowed at social events, family events, or social there matters of, where I'm allowed to speak freely. I get in trouble a lot because I'm a very opinionated person. I see things and I value things at a different level than other people are. My wife keeps telling me, well, they weren't raised like us or raised like you. They have different values than you do. You put more emphasis on stuff that they don't think about putting emphasis on. When she says they, the people, the public in general. My wife has understood me. She argues with me, or not argues, just disagrees with me on several things. But for the most part, she can understand that, not that I'm a militant person, but there are certain things. I always want to treat everyone with kindness and respect. I think people and humans in general want to treat everyone with kindness and respect. For example, here's a prime example. I went to the store the other day, and I just saw this elderly black woman, and I just struck up a conversation with her. I said, hey, she kind of smiled at me, and I said, hello, how are you? Hey, how are you? And I said, did you get enough turkey and everything this past week? Are you done with turkey? And I kind of like stood back a little bit, and I said, wow, man, maybe she's one of these people that doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving or doesn't have the funds or the means for Thanksgiving. And she said, well, I was done with everything, and we were going to throw it out and stuff. I'm like, no, you can't throw it out. It's make casseroles and make this and make that. She's like, oh, we didn't do turkey. We did a beef stew with cornbread and all this stuff. And I mean, real backwoods southern North Carolina stuff. Like I said, she's an older black woman, and so that was her heritage. She had like a almost like a Brunswick stew. And she's like, because that's what, cousin Lenny wanted. I'm like, well, good, I said, you should invite the neighbor kids over and share it with the neighbor kids and stuff. She's like, no. Anyways, so I'm but people who have to deal with people every day, I can see where everyone's like, I just want to kill everyone, especially retail. I did retail for Home Depot for 20 years, all the way up into management. And I was like, 20-year mark. I mean, you could do the countdown. Pew, I'm gone. But for the most part, people, I think, want to be kind and gentle to other people. Now, my family, my side of the family, I am the only one. Let's see. So my mom and dad have me. Boop. I'm the youngest one in our family outside of I've got cousins and stuff, but we really don't do Christmas Day with them. I'll give you the short version. Out of one side of my family, they're all adults. They're all married. None of them have kids. If they have kids, they're grown and they're out of the house. And then there's me. So, here I am, 18 years old. The next one in front of me, or behind me, however you want to look at it, is in their mid-30s. Already graduated from college. It's got their, degree, their careers going and stuff like that. And then it's all my parents and aunts and uncles. They're all established. No kids. I'm the only one. So when I turned 18, 19, 20 years old, I was having to buy gifts for up to 8 people. Now, I'm still going to school at the time, and I also had to buy gifts for cousins that have now grown up and married and had their kids, so they're my second cousins. So I'm up to buying like 12 gifts for these people, half of them I don't see, on a salary at the time of $7 an hour. I couldn't do it. I said I can't do it. So I put my foot down. I said I'm not buying for the people in Atlanta anymore. I said I don't see them at all. They don't call me. Birthday, happy celebration. I don't see these people. Mom, I'm not buying presents for them anymore. Oh, well, they're going to be upset. They'll get over it. And then it got to the point where I was buying presents. One person, buying presents for the other 8 people in the family. Aunts and uncles and my mom and dad. Now, they were only buying for less than that. So I was getting the raw end of the deal. I thought I was getting the raw end of the deal. So I put a stop. I said, I'm not going to Christmas Day with you guys anymore because I'm not buying presents for you guys anymore. I'm done. I'm done buying presents for you. We're done exchanging gifts. Go ahead and write me out of it. Now, my mom still tries to buy me, not now, but my mom was, still trying to buy me gifts and stuff for Christmas. Come on over and get your presents. I know you don't want to spend Christmas Day with us. All right, yeah, I don't. Nope, see you later. I'm not buying gifts anymore. I'm not spending any more money on you guys. I can't do it. I can't afford it. I'm a single guy. I own a house. I'm trying to go to school at the same time. I just don't have the funds nor the time. Got it? Good. So I tell you that to tell you this. So when you have Thanksgiving dinner and you're hosting, so it's me and my wife and we're hosting, my wife and I. We're hosting Thanksgiving dinner and we're catering to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 other people plus us 2, so that's 7 altogether. Buying a meal, one meal for 7 people. Now don't forget, there's breakfast involved, there's lunch involved, and breakfast and lunch and dinner for the next 3 to 4 days, depending on who sticks around and who doesn't. So that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of money coming out of our pockets for these people. Now, I'm not saying that they owe us, like we at the end of their meal or at the end of their stay, we kind of slip them a bill and say, okay, your room and board was this, and this is breakfast, this is lunch, and this is dinner, and you drink technically 50% of all the soda pop that we gave you. This is about the bill that you would need to see. No, that's not what I'm saying. It'd be nice. I know my mom used to do it for Thanksgiving. On my dad's side of the family, she would always kick my aunt, $100 or two to feed the family of 13 that we had at the time. Just to kind of chip in for their side of the bill. It's expensive. It really is expensive. But I was hoping that people would, these kids, I say kids because they're younger, or anyone would just kind of help pick up, maybe load the dishwasher, maybe unload the dishwasher, maybe just rinse everything off and collect everything. Maybe collect all your cans on the counter. Here goes my headache. Here goes my headache. Nothing. Zip. No. Let me help you with that. No, let me wipe these off. Hey, hand me the dishes. I'll hand you the dishes. You put them away. I'll wipe this down. We'll put everything in Tupperware. We'll do nothing. Now that's fine. And I'm not upset about that because they weren't. Now it could be my fault. It could be my fault that I'm very in the kitchen and all right, let's make sure everything's clean as you go, keep everything done. I'm sure it was my fault. But I mean, just the kind of like the hand lending the helping hand was not offered, And I was just kind of like taken back. Again, here goes my headache. Here goes my blurred vision. Here goes my left arm going numb. I'm not falling on the floor. But I was just kind of taken aback by it. I was just like, you know, you do a lot. Now, granted, these kids are young. They're still on their own. They're still single. They're still in school. They haven't experienced life yet. You know, I bought my first house when I was 20 years old, still in school. So you learn to think ahead of when you're being a guest, what a guest should be. And I don't think they understand what it means to be a guest at someone's house, especially when you throw on an elaborate dinner or anything like that. So I was just kind of taken back again. That's probably what led up to my headache starting on that Sunday before the Thanksgiving. I'm like, I know this is going to happen. I know this is going to happen. All the responsibility is going to, I know. It's all about me. It's all about me. But like I said, I should not be allowed in family events or social events. I should not be allowed because I will speak my mind. Well, actually, I bit my tongue most of the time. Most of the time I couldn't talk because I was stumbling. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. And one of the things, when I said, depending on who was there, one of the girls had to fly out. You ready for this one? One of the girls drove up here from Florida, and the day after Thanksgiving had to fly out because she wanted to go to the Florida State game. Really? Here we are, family, and you're going to go to a football game? Oh, yeah, well, we never make it inside. We usually just hang out and tailgate in the parking lot. Okay, so there's your value. So you're going to end up drinking and passing out in the parking lot. So you're taking a flight down to Florida so you can get back to this Florida-Georgia game to party, drink beer, and or whatever you drink, and then not even see the... I was just kind of taken back by that. I was like, that's kind of rude. That's very, very rude. Now, the oldest one had to go back because she's in law school, so she had papers due. But I mean, I thought that was very, very rude. And for the parent to allow that, I'd be like, no, guess what? We're going up for Thanksgiving. We're going to hang out with our family. Sorry, if the Florida game or whatever happens, that's not literally a school demanded activity. You're staying with family. My mom and dad would freak. They would, anyways, that's my mom and dad and their mom and dad. Or their family, I should say. So, headache coming. Oh. And if you agree with me, that's fine. If you don't agree with me, that's fine too. But let me know what you think. And the way you let me know what you think is go to ProphetRadio, PROPHET radio.com. Click on the little blue bar. It's a little blue tab that says Be Heard. Click on that. And it opens up a microphone on your phone, on your laptop, on your PC, and it just opens up a microphone. Just talk right into make sure you have a microphone available, usually it's on your phone, and just let us know what you think. I'd like to hear what you had to deal with this Thanksgiving, or even Black Friday and the Black Friday sales and all that stuff. When we come back, we're going to get into some news stories that have been shoved down our throat, and what do you do with all your leftovers? And this company kind of made fun of an actual food item, and it's going to be a big hit. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Just give you an update. We did a segment last show about Am I the Asshole? And we talked about the guy that yelled at his co-worker that had Asperger's. And I also told you about, I called my mom 2 weeks late, past her birthday. And just to update on my mom, still no call. Still no call back from my mom. No call on Thanksgiving. No call. My wife's like, did you call your mom on Thanksgiving? I said, nope. When's the last time you talked to her? 2 weeks after her birthday. Well, I didn't talk to her. I left her a message. Well, did she call you? Nope. She's like, okay, I don't feel bad. Phone works both ways, unfortunately. Or fortunately, however you want to look at it. So there is, move over, on those nice cold nights, everyone was reaching for their Snuggie. And remember, basically Snuggie was what, a reverse robe? Something like that? Well, this company called Radwish, R-A-D, Wish, all one word, has come up with this, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, has come up with the 3D burrito blanket. Now's your chance to wrap yourself up so you actually feel like a burrito. Curling up in your cozy blanket and indulging in this giant burrito are two of the life's most simplest pleasures. You can now combine the two in one experience thanks to the tasty looking burrito blanket. Let me tell you something. This burrito blanket looks good. I mean, the printing on it, it's got, if you've ever been to Chipotle, I've been there one time. It looks really good, or I had it. It was really good. It's got the perfect burn marks on the tortilla. It's a blanket shaped like a tortilla, but it's huge. It's like, I think, well, here you go. Adult size, extra large is 70 inches in diameter. And I guess let's see how much it is. Kids, let's go adult size. How much is that? $32. $32 right now, Black Friday sale. It's a huge 3D burrito blanket. And like I said, it's got the perfect burn marks on the burrito. And it looks so soft. Like if you ever had a really, real nice, soft, fresh baked, I guess is lack of a better term, like baked tortilla. And it looks so good. So if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, you can see the big 3D burrito blanket from Radwish. So go online right now, order it. It's your Black Friday sale for $32.99, and wrap yourself up in a burrito. It's so funny because it looks. I want to eat the thing just like it is. It looks delicious. So there you go on that. And let's see, a couple news stories that have been shoved down our throats. Have you seen? All right. So on your news feed for the past, the week leading up to Thanksgiving, there's two huge news stories that everyone's like reposted and reposted and reposted and reposted and reposted and reposted. And one of them is, I think it's a great deal. It's a good deal. And I know I'm not a political show, but when I see good stuff happen, I like to bring it to your attention. Now, Donald Trump, that's right, our president, Donald Trump. Oh, let's close that off. Donald Trump has signed into law that it's federal. Trump signs a federal law banning animal cruelty. And I want you to hear what he has to say. Like him or not, animal cruelty, you see things on your Facebook feed. We need to find this guy. He put firecrackers in the dog's mouth. We need to find this guy. They burn off the dog's ears and stuff. Now, if you go to Prophet Radio, we have teamed up with the actual Humane Society of reporting internet violators as far as reporting animal abuse. So if you go to Prophet Radio, we've teamed up with the Humane Society. Click on that and report. There's a form right there for you to fill out because of course, we're against it too. You can report animal abuse, internet animal abuse right there on our webpage. Now, here's the actual signing of Donald Trump. So for those of you who don't like him, just listen to him. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, listen to this guy. But just listen to what he has to say.
Well, thank you very much. It's a very important signing, and we've had two now in a row that are very, very important.
So he's sitting at his desk in the Oval Office, and he's got all the supporters and the people who wrote this bill and the governor that actually brought it up and the senator that pushed it through.
And inspirational, I might add, right, when you think of it. Thank you all for being here today. I'm pleased to sign the Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Act into law. Animal cruelty. This is something that should have happened a long time ago, and it didn't, but the people behind me and others have been incredible, and I just want to congratulate you. And I ask the same question I asked for another bill that we just signed. Why hasn't this happened a long time ago, right? And I give you the same answer, because Trump wasn't president.
So there he goes. He's got to toot his own horn. Why wasn't this done a long time ago? And he says, well, because Trump wasn't president. Now, you don't know. Sometimes the animal cruelty bills, for those of you who don't know law or how bills, they throw riders on there. For example, it says, no cruelty to animals, but at the bottom it says, like, all cars must be yellow. Well, when you sign it, you have to approve the whole thing. So you can't approve parts and everything of it. So there might have been riders on past federal laws that were given to any president, and riders might have kicked it out. So this one, I guess, all the way through, top to bottom, he liked it. So
This common sense legislation restricts the creation and distribution of videos or images of animal torture It is important that we combat these heinous and sadistic acts of cruelty, which are totally unacceptable in a civilized society. We're pleased to be joined by some of the very important people that got this done, and they worked very, very hard on it. Representative Vern Buchanan, fantastic person.
Lots of cameras.
Sheriff Carolyn Bunny Welsh, Kitty Block, President CEO of the Humane Society, Jack Hubbard, COO of American Humane, Rory Diamond.
All right, we don't know all these
and
people.
Marie Malloy, senior in
All
the
right.
country right now, that we were able to get this done a little bit quicker than people thought, and so they send all of their regards, and some of them are watching this right now as we do this. I want to congratulate everybody here, and after I'm finished, I'd like to have you maybe say a few words to the media if you'd like, okay? Thank you very much.
All right, now he gets the presidential pen, uncaps it, and then he does his famous squiggly triangle Donald Trump signature.
Okay, so who's supposed to get this pen?
Yeah, he doesn't even know who gets it. Give it to that guy.
I think, thank you.
It's like he's talking to a child.
Introduce your sons and say a few words.
James and Matt and
So there you go. Donald Trump signs the bill that makes animal cruelty a federal offense now, which is nice because some of the states are doing it on a state level basis, but now it's a federal law. So there's a lot more to it because they start talking about the way not just abusing animals as far as like your dogs and pets, and they're also talk about how we process our animals for food consumption. They're changing some rules in the way we do that to make it a little bit, I don't want to say humane, but they can only do it this way. For example, a lot of you would say, well, we kill animals because we need to eat them. Yeah, that's fine, but there's a certain way that we need to do it. The same thing as when prisoners are put on death row. Now, we can get into the whole death row thing later on. That's a conversation in itself, but we have to kill people a certain way that's not cruel and unusual. Like we can't tie them up by their balls and swing them over the city hall until their balls fall off or their tits fell off or whatever the case may be. That's cruel and unusual in some cultures, but so it follows that as well. So yeah, he just passed the law and stuff, federal law. I don't know when it's going to take effect. I just know that a lot of people out there are very happy and thankful that at least he's taken or got a bill on the table that we can all agree with, and he's doing that as well. Now, something I don't agree with, another news article that's been forced down our throats, is comeback tours. And when we come back from break, I'm going to get into these 3 80s groups that are teaming up to tour the country one more time for whatever reason. I don't know why, if there's a huge demand for it, but when we come back, we'll get into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. I'd like to, again, can't talk. I'd like to thank each one. Well, hold on. Let me start over. Welcome back to Deacon Live. I know I shorted you guys last week. I was scheduled to do a show on Wednesday and then another special show on Friday. So I think I shorted you one show and a special show. And this one's coming out to you a little early this week. I'm going to make up for it. I know you guys are out there. I've got a bunch of subscribers out there. So I apologize. And we're going to do this show, and then we're going to do a special show probably in about 2 days or so. I've got a bunch of new things that we're doing here at the Franch. New things that we bought. New things that we've doing. It's a big leap for my wife and I, the things that we're doing here at the Franch. Financially and stuff. So it'll be an exciting show. It's always an exciting show. Deacon Live is always an exciting show. Whether you love us or hate us, or they're different. Make sure when you're listening to us on your podcatchers, write a review. Give us 5 stars. Give us 1 star. Just give it any kind of star. So we just know that you guys are listening and liking or disliking what we're doing. And you can email me at deacon@prophetradio.com if you don't like or you have any questions of what we're doing. Sorry. Barely can... See, can't speak. Well, you know who's having a hard time speaking? Is the lead singer of one of 3 bands that are joining together, not together, but joining as a group, 3 separate groups, and going on tour this year. Now, I've never been a big fan of these groups until I started working in strip clubs, because when you think strip clubs in the 80s and 90s, you kind of think of these bands. And these 3 bands that are joining together are Def Leppard, Poison, and Motley Crue are teaming up for U.S. stadium tours this year. Now, while the specific dates and venues have not been announced, these 3 acts will perform at stadiums across the country. Motley Crue went out on their final tour, quote-unquote final tour, in 2014 all the way to 2015, with band members claiming that they signed a legal binding agreement that the group would not perform again until after the tour ended. Oh, not perform again after the tour ended. So that was it. They had some kind of legal agreement. We would never play again. So I don't know what's going to happen with Motley Crue. Or is it just going to be Vince Neil? Now, if it's just going to be Vince Neil, he's going to have a hard time, because this video is going around. And if you're a Motley Crue fan, and if you know Motley Crue songs, this video is going around right now, and it's not very good. He's kind of... Oh, wait, hold on. Before we get ahead of ourselves, this is Vince Neil with a backup band. It's not the Motley Crue band. It's Vince Neil, Rockin' in Rio, Big Fat Vince Neil, Vincent Neil, like Vincent Price. Vince Neil up on the stage. Listen to the words as best you can, because he's making up shit. And if you're watching this on the YouTube videos, you can actually see the words that they're trying to figure out what he says. So here you go. This is Kickstart My Heart with Vince Neil. If this is any prelude to what's going on at the concert for them, it's going to be funny. Oh, the backup singer's got it. So there you go. That's Minion with the money, outer space, hear my nah, wah, cornbell knee on my high. I mean, it's horrible. Oh, so Vince Neil's out there. He's trying to make a name for himself again with the band teaming up together. Would you guys go see him? I don't know if I'd go see those guys. Not in stadium form. I'd see him in like local club venues, like what Garth Brooks is doing. Bring your audience back in. We're so disconnected, these bands. So I would think, disconnected, that would be awesome. See these bands right up close. Now, people that are disconnected, have you seen the new Facebook feeds, the new Facebook memes that are going around? Well, guess what? The bye-bye kitty, bye-bye to the kitty meme, with the cat yelling at the lady from the Housewives or whatever show. It was getting ridiculous. Now everyone's posting these new memes out, essentially saying... I'm going to tell my kids, is I guess the way you put the meme, the title to the memes. And here's a picture of Ellen DeGeneres around these 3 rap artists, and I forget what their names are. And it says, and they're holding like monies up, stacks of money. And it says, I'm going to tell my kids, this is Justin Bieber. And there's a picture of Ellen, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel. There's a picture of Ellen flaunting some money like a rap star. Then the new movie that's come out, The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, has a little young Yoda. So there's a picture of little young Yoda, and it says, I'm going to tell my kids this is Danny DeVito, which it's not. It's showing you how disconnected and out of touch that the youth that is coming in today, bringing full circles as far as being a guest at someone's house party or a house for the holidays. Here's another one. If you've ever seen the movie or the television show The Good Place, the angel robot person that's on the white girl with the long brown hair, Ben says, I'm going to tell my kids this is Siri. So it kind of looks like it would be Siri at one time or at any time. Let's see if I can find another one. Here's another one. Here's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Here's a picture of what's his name? Tony Stark, which is, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. There you go. Thank you, caller. Robert Downey Jr. And it's him in his Iron Man uniform without his helmet. He's staring at the sky, and the stuff is all coming on around him. And the caption is, "I'm going to tell my kids this is Elon Musk." So that's kind of the direction that we're going, because a lot of people don't know. They don't know what some of our historical figures look like, so they're just making fun of all that stuff. There you go. I don't know, but that's the new Facebook meme. And the 10-year challenge thing's happening. Can we stop doing it? It's, people say that it's the and that didn't last very long. Actually, that just probably tapered out here. We'll see it kick up a little bit closer to the end of the year. But we just saw a brief clip of the 10-year challenge. If you don't know what the 10-year challenge is, post a picture of you in 2009 and then 2019. I think we did this at the beginning of the year. Well, it's coming around again, and people are doing it, and it's just, who cares? If you want to see what I look like in 2009, scroll back through my pictures. If you want to see what I look like 4 years ago, scroll back through my pictures. I don't have to post it every time. The people that post it the most are the people that have actually gotten divorced. Look how much better I'm doing. Or have gotten divorced and lost a shit ton of weight. Good for them. Hey, good for you. Or got divorced, lost a lot of weight, and now they're dating someone hotter than their ex married person or whatever, they're divorcee. And that's the only people that are posting pictures like that. And it's kind of shallow when you start doing that. And one more thing before I let you go. So we're getting into, Thanksgiving. This past Wednesday, I've never heard this expression before, but it's called Drinksgiving, because everyone's got Thanksgiving off. So everyone goes out and parties on Wednesday, and then they're all hungover on Thursday. And then, you have everyone drinks around Thanksgiving and holidays, and everyone's beating on each other and punching each other or having a good time, whatever the case may be. And then you get into Christmas and Christmas parties and business Christmas parties or company Christmas parties and family Christmas parties and front Christmas parties and all that stuff. But there's a lot of drinking and everything going on. This one place, the Cherokee Recovery Village Bar in Texas, is providing a safe place for sober people. Let me have another sip of beer there, Trav. Providing a safe place for sober people. I can't even say the word. Sober people to socialize without the temptation of alcohol. So this place in Texas is a bar that's open to the public, but it sits on a recovery village. And it says that we give you non-alcoholic drinks, so you can come in, relax, have a healthy beverage, and kind of get yourself into going out with your friends in the dark, crazy environment and not wanting to drink beer or drink alcohol. Now, here's one thing that I've learned through addiction, and I've done studies on addiction. As you guys, if you listen to the past couple podcasts, I've had several friends of mine that have died from addiction. And one thing that I know about addiction is there's a rhythm, there's a step 1, step 2, step 3 in connection with your addiction. My prime example is people who smoke anything, crack, meth, anything like that. The striking of a lighter stimulates the next thing. Whether it be burning the meth, whether it be doing the thing. So in treatment, they remove lighters. Like, you can't even smoke cigarettes. You can dip and do all that stuff, but you can't do that lighter, because the lighter is the first instance of starting your downward spiral as far as addiction, or getting high, or getting whatever. So this place is saying that they're having a recover sober bar. Well, when you go into a bar, the first thing you want to do, if you're an alcoholic or you're that type person, you want to drink. Hey, I want to drink. This place makes me want to drink. I sit in church, I don't want to drink. I sit in a daycare center, I don't want to drink. I sit in a whatever, I don't want to drink. If I go into a bar or dark restaurant, this place has very, very dim lights, very, very dim, settings, no windows, that type deal. Guess what it makes you want to do? Makes you want to party. I say party. Makes you want to have an alcoholic drink, or have, some kind of beverage. So I don't know if the Recovery Village bar in Texas is going to be a big hit, but there you go. It's out there if you're in Texas. All our listeners over in Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we appreciate you. And I promise you guys that I'm going to get you your just doings, let's say your Thanksgiving Day leftovers is coming up here in the next couple days. So make sure you subscribe to us, make sure you follow us, make sure you share us. On behalf of all the callers that called here to the station trying to sell me some kind of medical insurance, and the Spanish lady who called, I couldn't understand her, and for all you guys putting up with me for the last hour or so, I'd like to thank each and every one for listening. I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night, and good night.
Oh no. Wait, come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.